Today we are going to be taking the internet's unpopular opinions about sex and ranking them in a tier list. We got these from a couple posts that ended up going viral over on X talking about, hey, give me your unpopular opinion about sex from some large accounts. So we recapped them for you, and now today we are going to be taking a look and we're going to rank them all the way from great take to insane. Let's get right into it, guys. Everyone should be celibate until marriage. Of course. I know this is a hot take and I might hear about it in the comments down below. I know I'm going to hear about it, dude, but it's worked throughout the entirety of human history. And if you take a look at society today, you can point a lot of problems into this not exactly being a a thing in society anymore. We are going to be starting off with a big ol' great take over here. Oh my God. Oh, next up, the rectum isn't a two-way street. Ooh. You know, here's the thing. I get that it's enjoyable. You know, I'm not talking about a receiving end over here for me personally, but it's not. And especially, like, guys, I'm somebody who used to work in an emergency room too. You wouldn't believe the amount of problems that people have come in due to particular activities involving the rectum. So I want to say, like, it is a great take, okay? It actually is a great take because it's objectively true. I just don't really knock anybody for, you know, doing it. So we're going to put this one, great take, okay? Sexual compatibility is important. This is a difficult one because you have so many people now that have been completely rewired their brains with adult content. This is something that we talk about often on the channel. If your brain is like proper, it hasn't been infected by social media, it hasn't been infected by adult content, anything like that, then what you would find is the vast majority of the population would be completely comfortable with the most vanilla sex and activities out there. I guarantee you guys, if you go, I don't know, everybody's a little bit different. If you go at least a few months, not even for how far gone people are nowadays, you go a few months without taking care of yourself, without like partaking in any sort of adult content, anything like that, your preferences are going to be like bare minimum. So, like, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because sexual compatibility is like kind of a new thing, and everybody should be, for the most part, fairly, like, I don't want to say normal. That's not the right word that I'm looking for, but everybody like shouldn't require all of these things to get off. You know what I mean? And everybody would be compatible if everybody was like not on social media and things like that. I'm trying to keep, we're making a video. It's a ranking on popular opinions about sex, but I'm still trying to be careful with my wording over here. So I'm going to put this one actually at disagree. But the problem is, if you're way too far gone, there really is no fixing that. Like, I know there's a couple things that I've seen from when I was little that I've never personally really gotten over. And it's nothing crazy, but there are a lot of people that are too far gone. But ultimately, I do disagree. There are way more important things when it comes to sex, okay? Nutting early is a compliment. I'm going to go neutral on this one. I'm going to go neutral because it just happens if you're a guy. It'll happen with ugly people. It'll happen with attractive people. But at the end of the day, like, I guess it's a compliment. Like, it could be a compliment. It could just be the guy, you know, excited to be with a woman. It's that simple. I'm definitely neutral on that one. Let's continue on. Vanilla sex should not be viewed as boring. Boring, though. That's the weird word. Should not be viewed as boring. I know a lot of people view it as boring. But this is kind of like what I was talking about, how like, when we're talking about sexual compatibility, if you just trained your brain to be how it was originally, then you'd be completely satisfied with vanilla sex. I'm going to go with, I agree on that one, a little bit above neutral for that one. Let's continue on. The hotter the woman, the more likely she is to be a starfish. That's true. That's very true. But there are a lot of attractive women out there that are definitely, you know, good at what they do. Again, I don't know why I'm trying to be so careful with my words over here, but this one is definitely just going straight into the I agree, because it's not like a complete rule or anything. It's just, is the more attractive the woman, the more likely she is to be a starfish, because she's gone through her entire life probably getting by on just her looks, and she'll lay on the bed kind of like, oh my God, it's such a privilege to touch me. Then she won't feel like that she has to really do anything just for you to have the most mediocre activity of your life. You know what I mean? Let's continue on. Women are more hornier than men. This is something that you hear a lot from women, and I've heard it a lot throughout my entire life. It is one of the most asinine, ridiculous things that you could ever hear come out of somebody's mouth, guys. Prostitution wouldn't exist. Look at all the, who's visiting the adult content sites. Like, it's unbelievable. And how many men have you known to just completely throw their entire life away just to get boxed for literally one 5-minute session. That is going into the insane tier. That is the first thing that we're taking a look at that's going into the insane tier, okay? Guys who don't give head are cowards. I don't know if coward's the right word. If you said anything else other than coward, then I'd be like, yeah. Or it's like, if you expect head and then you don't give head, then that's not right. I don't know about cowards. That's the problem. But I'm going to take it like the message. And I feel like that's kind of the message where it's like, I feel like a little bit of attitude is coming through that one in the sense where it's like, what, you expect head from me, but you're not going to give me head? That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting for. And I'm going to put this one in, it's not quite like these two over here. I'm going to put this one in just, I agree. Flat out, I agree. I'm going to put this one at the top, or no, below the hotter the woman, the more likely she is to starfish. What's with the keywords this time over here, eh? But the thing is, too, there's a lot of guys that I know just will not give head, like, because they partake in casual hookups. But I would still argue that that's not fair. It's smart, but it's not fair. Conversation for another time. Sex is for the bedroom and nowhere else. Ooh, this is one that I relate to, guys. Don't get me wrong. Sex is great anywhere, obviously, right? But it's not comparable to the bedroom. I don't like car sex. I don't like but hang on. Like isn't there are so many words that I'm using that aren't proper in this video over here. It's nice, and I will take it over nothing, but I would choose the bedroom 11 out of 10 times. But I mean, as long as it's not like illegal and you're not doing it out in public, it can be for anywhere. So I'm going to put I agree for this one. Low I agree tier. Y'all are too grossed out by feet. Nope. Absolutely not. It's different if you just step out of the shower, then I agree. Then, okay, you're too grossed out by feet. Then it's just another body part. But the vast majority of the time, you've been walking all day. You've been sweating all day. The things that you've stepped in all day, a lot of people's houses aren't okay. Nope. But I'm not going to put this one in insane. I'm just going to put it in disagree. I'm going to put it at the bottom of disagree over here, a little bit closer to the insane level. It's not like completely delusional like this. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it just is another body part. Having a high body count isn't a flex. Woo, okay. Oh, I get where this one's coming from. But here's the thing. For women, obviously, it's not a flex because you can literally go outside and you'll be like, hey, who wants to have sex with me? And you will have a lineup. I live in some townhouses and apartment buildings. If a girl walked out my door right now to those apartment buildings, stood in the lobby and said, hey, who wants to have sex with me? The entire building would be down there. For that reason, it's not a flex. But the thing is, for guys, and I understand where you're coming from, at the end of the day, it's a flex and it isn't a flex because it's not good for you and it's not good for society. But it is flex because unless you're like the most attractive tall guy in the world where it actually just is easy for you, you have to display some sort of status. You have to display some sort of charisma, those types of things. You have to basically prove that you're a worthy man. You know what I mean? If there's a guy that legitimately has a high body count, you know that he's not lying about it. He tells you about it. And you can just get the vibe a lot of the times, right? If a guy's like capping her out when they come to that, then it's probably something to be a little bit more impressed about because he has something going for him. We don't exactly know what it is, but something's working. So it depends on whether you're talking about men or women for this one. So I'm going to put this one in neutral. I'm definitely putting that one over in neutral over here, okay? Sex with strangers is disgusting. Great take. You don't know how dirty people are. You don't know what their hygiene's like. You don't know what kind of diseases that they have, and you should be waiting until marriage. So this one is going into the great take right there. Morning sex is overrated. Ooh. I don't think that I've ever had morning sex in my entire life. I don't think that I did. I feel like I would remember if I did. I'm trying to think of like maybe a vacation, maybe a hotel. But the problem is I am so sleep deprived that I don't even know if like, and obviously like intercourse is arguably the greatest thing in the world. I don't even know if that would be enough incentive to get me out of bed. The only reason I get myself out of bed is because I need to live. I need to sleep more. And maybe I would, if I had a long sleep, then maybe I would feel differently about this. But it's a daytime, it's an afternoon, it's a nighttime activity. It is not a morning activity for me, but no knock on anybody who does it. So I'm going to put this one in neutral because I don't even think that it's overrated. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it like, oh my God, you guys need to have morning sex. I'm going to put this one in neutral, middle of neutral over there. Eye contact is uncomfortable. That's insane. That's insane. That's one of the most passionate things that could possibly take place. I'm not going to go into detail any particular moments where eye contact is great, but if you're not like completely insecure, oh, that elevates the moment. That is absolutely insane, okay? Sexual compatibility is a skill. I might not be fully understanding that one. Maybe it means like, and I could be wrong about this, so feel free to comment down below. Maybe they're talking about how you need to learn one another. Like everybody likes different things. Everybody gets off like, in greater volume, I guess you could say, to different things. Is that what that means? If that's the case, then yes, I would agree with that. But I could be wrong about this. So I'm going to put this very, very slightly neutral. Take that one with a grain of salt though, okay? Or did I say I agree? Not neutral? Anyways. Keep your pet out of the room. Here's the thing, okay? I'm going to be speaking about this as if I wasn't married because my wife and I, we love our dog very, very much. It's a kind of a different story. For those of you who have a family and have been with a partner for a long time, I'm sure that you can understand. I'm imagining myself single at this moment, okay? You bring home a lady. I don't care who she is. I don't care what she looks like. You are not nearly as important as my dog. And my dog is not going to feel left out from the bedroom just because I brought a girl over. You are not more important than my dog. So this is, while I understand where it's coming from, this is going into the insane tier. Keep your pet out of the room. Unless people have pets that like bother you during the activity, if they just lay in the room, who cares? Leave it alone, okay? Drunk sex sucks. I'm sure a lot of people have had bad experiences. I personally haven't. I'm going to put this one in neutral. Don't have a feeling towards that either way, okay? Men want to be the bottom more often than they admit. I would agree with that. But the thing is, like, I'm open about it. The problem is, like, I'm at a point in my life where my wife and I have been together for a decade. We've learned each other. We've tried everything that works. You know what I mean? Like, we flip all the time. That's something that comes with time. So I don't feel like I don't necessarily admit that I want to be the one. We just like change here. Everybody knows what they like. You know what I mean? That's what, guys, I will say this right now. Being married is so much better. Assuming that you're not in a sexless marriage, you need to avoid that. Being married is infinitely better than whatever grass is on the other side, man. It is insane. It's so much better to learn somebody. It's so much better to love somebody. Call me cringe, whatever you want. I don't care. But men want to be the bottom more often than they admit, probably. I would imagine so. Yeah, because that's not exactly something that you would say. I'm thinking about like having an encounter with somebody. I wouldn't go, yeah, I'd like to be the bottom tonight. That's exactly what's going to get you into bed with her, sir. So I'm going to put this one into I agree. I'm going to put this one right in front of sex is for the bedroom and nowhere else, okay? Men should get the same shame as women for sleeping around. I agree with this. The thing is, where was that other one? Having a high body count isn't a flex. That's a different story from what we're talking about, but I still do think it should be shamed. I think that promiscuity, should be shamed all around. Society was better when we didn't have that, so I'm definitely putting this into great take. I'm going to put it right there. Bottom of great take. Aftercare is better than sex. You know, I hear that word a lot. I don't exactly know what it means. I'm in a regular relationship. We have our fun, and then we spend the night in bed together afterwards. I don't know if aftercare, and please, you know what? Maybe it's a term that I'm not familiar with. Aftercare kind of makes me think you just beat the shit out of somebody, and then you have to like get them ice. But I could be wrong about that. So either way, is it even better? Then I doubt it. So I'm going to put this at slight disagree over here, okay? Let's continue on. Don't have sex if you are not ready for a child. Oh, man. Best take that we've taken a look at for this video. Guys, sex was designed for one reason. You have to accept the responsibility of a child coming if you are going to partake in the activity, and I will not hear otherwise. Anything other than that is completely incorrect, okay? You don't withhold sex from your partner. That's a toughie. That's really tough because no one should ever feel pressured to do something. You should be in I want to say that you should be in a relationship where you two want to actively, constantly have sex with each other. But that's not always the case. There's a lot of people that fall into unhappy marriages. And if that's the case, if somebody's slacking, then No, I don't believe that you should be having sex just because, oh, well, I'm a husband. Oh, well, I mean, it would just fall on the wife, right? Because even no matter how much the husband hates somebody, they'll still have sex with them. So I would take this from the wife's perspective. No, if your husband's not doing anything, then yeah, there's no reason for you to have sex with him. But the problem is, what I am against is if you're using it as a weapon. If you do love your partner, if you are attracted for your partner, and you're only going to have sex if you want something, or you're using it as a leverage for him, and you know what I mean? You're hanging it over somebody's head just to be vindictive like that, then I will completely disagree with that. So it's tough. I want to say I agree, but there's asterisks to it, okay? So for that reason, I'm going to put it at the bottom of I agree. Oh, no, you don't hold it. Sorry, I'm going to put it at the top of disagree over there, okay? Let's continue on. Sex is too important in society. Completely agree. Great take. Absolutely great take. What else is there to say? I agree with that. Bottom of great take over there. Laughter is important. No, I wouldn't say important. Like, it happens, yeah, but it doesn't exactly like make the moment more romantic. Maybe it does for girls. I can see that being a thing on the side of women, but I don't really laugh a lot. I'm sure, you know, it happens here and there. I'm going to put this one in disagree. It's not a big deal, but I definitely don't think it's important. So I'm going to put it at the top of disagree over here. And keep in mind, down here, the further down you get for disagree, the more you're getting towards insane, okay? Needing sex is a sign of weakness. Oh, that's a toughie too again. That's a toughie. Because we all need it, right? It's about how much you go through life not displaying that you need it. But if you can't function without it, then I guess it is a sign of weakness. So I'm also going to put this one into the I agree, but the bottom of I agree over there, guys. With that being said, that has been ranking everybody's unpopular opinion about sex. I would love to know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. Why don't you check out this video where we did a tier list about what the hardest sport is? I would love to have you over there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.